welcome back. Is this beginning or ending?
I mean, shit, honest with you, man, she's a
bad things, fine as hell, thick as fuck, oh my god, that's my baby, Caroline.
Hello everyone, what's good, what's poppin'? It's your girl Caroline and welcome to another fun, riveting, exciting wig install tutorial. In today's video I want to show you guys how I install my wigs when the lace has already been cut off. This can be for many reasons. Either it's an old wig that you already washed and don't know how to reinstall it, or for some reason like me, you had a wig and you had to cut off all the lace in the front for like either balding, shedding, mistake, whatever it may be. And I'll be showing you guys how I got this cute little afro front bang. I don't know what to call it, cute little cut that we got going on. So with that said, let's sit back, relax, and get right into today's video. First thing first is I'm going to go ahead and tint the lace using my Maybeline Fit Me foundation in the shade 356 Warm Coconut. I always tint the lace on my wig, especially if it's a cut lace, because I'm sure I didn't tint it all the way far down in the initial install. So now that I'm reinstalling it, I definitely got to make sure I'm tinting it all the way down so it's going to be a perfect match onto my skin. Now a little hairline prep real quick. I'm just going in with my Edge Booster Edge Control Gel to just make sure I'm pushing all of my little hairs to the back, especially since this is a colored wig. My little black hairs poking out is just going to be not the look, so I just like to make sure I slick all my edges nice and back. Yeah, y'all know me, I don't do any wig caps or anything. I just slap my wig on raw. Once I got the wig on my head here, I'm just trying to like shift it left and right to kind of see where it's going to fit the most natural on my head. Just because you throw the wig on and it's sitting that way does not mean you have to keep it that way. You can definitely move it forward, move it back just to fit the way it's going to fit for your head shape, because especially with the lace being cut so much and it's a lot shorter, I have to pull it a lot further down onto my hairline. So just take a moment to make sure everything is sitting on your head right. And now I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed. I'm like, dang, I don't even know where to start. The lace is uneven, it's short. There's just a lot going on. But you know what? Breathe. Get yourself a little hair tie, hair clip, get the hair out of the way, out of your face, and let's tackle this lace, or should I say, lay this lace. You know what I'm saying? Get it? But anyways, to lay my lace, I'm using the Ebon Wonder Lace Spray. I like to use the red can, and as of recent, the blue can as well. And what I do first, just like typical install, I lift the lace on the sides up, and I spray underneath. And whenever I spray underneath on the sides, I make sure I'm spraying like even a little bit into my actual hair itself, because you can, I don't know if you can tell, but like that lace does go further back on the sides and just like the front. So I spray there, and I also go and try to lift the lace in the middle portion of my head as much as I can, and then I just use my finger to spread that product all around. And what I do to really help me get a good grip on the lace, because the one thing about installing a cut lace is that you don't have that initial extra lace in the front that helps you pull down the lace and hold everything down. So what I do as a little trick is I go ahead and I pull out all the little front hairs, like the hair in the very front of the lace. I just go ahead and section it out, and I use that kind of as my anchor to really help me like have something to pull the lace down on. And this also is going to help me for my baby hairs later. So I just pull out that hair, and I'm going to go in again and spray some of that Ebon spray in between the section of the parting where like the hair was parted. This is going to also help me make sure that the lace is really laying down, because I feel like with the cut lace, I have like a lot of lifting because I miss certain pieces of lace. So doing it this way makes sure I like it helps me ensure that I've gotten everything laid down. Here I'm just going back in and just using my comb to press everything out to really make sure I'm getting all of that lace in the front down, and to make sure I'm pulling everything nice and flat. Now to lock and secure everything in, I go in with my blow dryer on a cool setting, and I just continue to press and push everything down until it feels like nice and secure and locked in. Once I have securely laid down this side, I go ahead and do the same exact thing to the other side. All right, we have finished laying down the lace on both sides. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this elastic band on just to really hold down the lace and everything. This is important, one, to make sure the spray has dried properly and the lace is set, and two, because I'm going to go ahead and start plucking the hairline a bit more to kind of make it make more sense. So I definitely need this elastic band to hold everything down so I don't get any lifting. Okay, let's get into the plucking. Since I cut off the original hairline to fix whatever balding situation I had going on, the hairline in the back was very thick and bulky, and I need to basically recreate a new scalp beyond type of plugged hairline. So I'm going in with my hot comb to help just press everything all the way back so I can really see what I'm doing. And this just helps the knots come out a lot easier when they're sticking up like this. And I'm using my Revlon Diamond Slant Tip Tweezer, which I'll link down below. It's my favorite tweezers when it comes to plucking. They're strong enough, but not too strong to poke a hole. You do need something that's going to be strong enough to make sure you're pulling those hair out from the roots. Make sure you're not leaving behind the knots. You want to make sure you're pulling the hair out from the root and not just the hair itself. Is what's going to help create like a gap look, which gives that plucked, thinned out hairline effect. If you're leaving the knots behind, it's just going to look very messy. It's not going to look like it's scalp in your hair. Whenever I pluck, I like to pluck in a backwards dragging motion. So I'm dragging my tweezer backwards. I'm not pulling down like you would if you're plucking a chin hair. I'm pulling backwards, and this kind of helps me create hairline strokes in the hair. The back of this wig was so dense, and I really wanted to thin it out because I wasn't trying to have a blocky look off my wig. So I had to go ahead and just part out another section of hair so I can make sure I'm really plucking behind the hairline, because it felt like at a certain point I was plucking too much in the front, and like I always say, you don't want to pluck too much in the front. That's how you get bald spots. So parting out another section and plucking behind that is going to ensure that I'm not plucking too much in the same spot and making bald spots in the front. Essentially with plucking, you're just trying to create gaps, like little hairline gaps between each strand of hair. Not each strand, but a good amount of hair to make it look like it's your natural hairline. I hope visually as I'm plucking you can see the little gaps that I'm talking about be created, which is giving that thinned out effect. Once I've plucked both sides, I went in and I'm just plucking directly in the middle to kind of just widen the part up a little bit. It was too tight for my liking, so I'm just trying to go in as straight line as possible and just dragging the tweezer all the way back to create a nice little middle part. Once I felt like the hairline was plucked enough to my liking, I took off the elastic band so I can really see everything and see our hairline. It's looking a lot better. We have some more thinning going through it, so it's not looking like, you know, very boxy and wiggy. I'm going in now and I'm going to start plucking it through the baby hairs to thin them out, because you don't need all these hair in front to be the baby hairs. I'm also going in between these hairs, like that space between the baby hair where the hairline starts, and I'm just trying to pluck out the little knots that I might have left. Sometimes when you cut the lace, it like ends up cutting the hair but leaving little tiny black dots in front of your lace, and I like to go in and pluck those out too, just to really give a clean look. Whenever there's no dots on the lace, all you see is like the lace blending in a lot better. So if your wig is looking a little bit rough and dirty in the front and you know it's not the residue, it's probably just black or little dark colored knots that are left. Once I've plucked the hair to my design, and now we can go ahead and tackle these baby hairs. Since we did spray a lot on the hair, the baby hairs themselves, like the hair in the front, it's going to be a little hard and crunchy. No biggie. All I do is just get a little, like my edge control brush, and I just brush through those hair to break that cast. If I'm having like a lot of residue or the hair is really crunchy and not trying to budge, I'll go and use a little bit of water onto my edge control brush just to help soften up that residue. But I don't like to use too much water because water is going to also make the lace lift, because the ebon lace spray does come off with water. But once I have brushed out the hairs, I can go ahead and start doing my baby hairs. Now the only thing about this technique of pulling out all the hair in the front is I usually have a hard time trying to push some of the hairs I don't want to be my baby hair back into the hairline without causing any lifting. Sometimes if I can't get the hair to go back without making the lace lift, I just go ahead and swoop baby hairs. That's why in my first installs I used to have like so many baby hairs, because I could never push the hair back without causing the lace to lift. It's just about being patient and like placing my finger on the lace while I'm also pushing the hair back at the same time. It takes a lot of patience. If you're having a hard time pushing that hair back, just swoop it all into baby hair. I went ahead and cut down the baby hairs to the size that I want them to be and just proceeded to do a little quick and easy swoop. I feel like when it comes to explaining the baby hairs verbally, I'm not with it. So visually, I hope it makes sense, and I'll be back once I'm done swooping the baby hair so we can get into our styling portion of today's inspo.
College girls, give a nigga head in my raps. Rockstar life, so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey, the bitch they hate, and you can't miss what you never had. Hey, hey, off the juice, coding got me tripping. Got the coupe, walker roof is missing. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Ice, lemonade, my neck was tripping. Oh, stop, I got dogs, dipping walls, hey. Add up off, then it does, then expose, hey. I was 15, I took codeine with my dog, hey. Did it break us, take a methazine, I feel nauseous. Put up a stick and I hop on a plane, still in my water wings. Shit is so risky, I gotta be gifted, he puts me first in tank. I remember for 50, I could go back empty, I knew I was stressed again. Loyal man, they never change. I'm never gonna go get the grain. I'm never gonna be the one turn on my brother when police is gotta detain. I won't ever leave a bitch part of my mother, and that's on my government name. I gave me my soul, I ain't getting on no one. I wish everybody could pay. Let's get to end it every day. Getting hot talent in the grave. Zany boss, suicide door, brand new bag. College girls, give a nigga head in my raps. Rockstar life, so much money, I'll make you laugh. Hey, the bitches they hate, and you can't miss what you never had. Hey, hey, off the juice, coding got me tripping. Got the coupe.
Now let's get into this cut. I know I wanted to do like a bit of a bang action going on. I've just been obsessed with like afro little bang haircuts. I don't know what to call this. So I went ahead and just sectioned out the front of my hair a little bit in a triangle, and I twisted the hair and I just cut it right across to give a little bang action in the front section. And then I was watching like TikTok videos of how people with the same haircut cut their hair naturally. Apparently it's called a curly cut. So I just sectioned the hair, the rest of it down in two, and I put it into these two little pigtails to make it easier to cut. When it comes to cutting hair, I always like to cut less than what I need, because you can always cut more, but you can't bring that hair back. So I just cut each sides of the pigtail at an angle, not straight across. So you can see I'm holding the hair up slightly tilted, and I'm using my scissors at an angle. It's going to help create some layers on the hair. So that initial cut gave me a little bit of what I was looking for, like the shape was there, but now I kind of wanted to really define it some more. So here I'm just trying to eyeball where I want to add these little layers. Because look, I'm going for it. It has a lot of layers, which gives the hair volume and shape. So I'm just trying my best to eyeball everything. I want the layers to be short on the top, but still keep the length on the bottom. But joke's on me, I ended up cutting the length of the bottom because, you know guys, I'm a scissor happy girl. I can never just stop where I'm supposed to stop. Once I felt like the shape was there, I went ahead and put that elastic band back on to hold everything down. I'm going to go ahead and start defining and detangling this hair. And I'm just using a spray bottle with water, nothing crazy. Like I always say, you want to make sure you're drenching the hair with water, as much water as possible, and taking your time to really brush the hair until you start to see the ringlets form. And do not forget to scrunch the hair to really get those curls to form. And like I always say, once I have curled, I've brushed the hair and the curls are forming, I do not run my fingers through the hair. Like I let it just air dry in this clump ringlet form before I start to put my fingers and separate it to get that volume. So let it dry like this. Do not run your hands through it. That's how you get a very nice defined curl at the end. While the hair was air drying, I noticed that the hair was a bit uneven at the end, so I went ahead and just cut that to make everything nice and blunt at the bottom. I really just wanted a lot of volume, like a very afro-y type of look. So after you cut the ends of your curly hair, make sure you do go back with either mousse or water or something to help reactivate the ends so they can curl right back up. So here we are, now the hair is fully air dried. As you can see, it's not giving that volume, but those curls are nice and defined, which is why I don't run my hands through it till it's fully dried. And now I can go ahead and start running my hands through mainly the top portion. I don't like running my hands all the way through it to the ends. I don't want to separate the ringlet, the curls at the bottom, but I do like to comb through the top part, like right here, just to create some volume in it. Just fluff up the hair, separate it, but like I said, I do not separate it all the way to the ends because I want to keep the definition at the bottom of the hair. I did end up going back in and cutting the hair just a little bit more because it still wasn't giving the look I wanted in my head. So off camera, I didn't record this part. I went ahead and did the same thing and cut the ends one more time to make it just a little bit shorter. I reapplied mousse to the ends, finger coiled the bottom like y'all saw earlier to kind of get the curls to form again. This is how our final look was looking once everything was dry. To make my bangs, the front area, really stand up the way I wanted to, I went with that hot comb. You'll see right now I'm just trying like to hot comb the roots of the front of the hair upwards, so that way it kind of just like makes it look like it's a bang and it just falls on my face in a way that has volume, because it was just falling on my face too flat and I want a very volume, you know, afro type of look. And here we are with our final look. You see, this is what I was looking for. This is what I was going for. Like, ooh, had to, of course, get the camera out. Start taking selfies. Call my bestie so she can hype me up. Bestie hype me up, you feel me? But I was really loving this look. Like, something about this hair, it was different without doing too much. Like, I love the color. It complemented my skin tone so nicely. And just the hair just screamed summer, young, and fresh. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial, watching this video. We made it to the end. I hope you found this video informative, helpful, entertaining, you know, or just cute. And if you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions. But I'll see you guys in another one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, I already said that, but in case you didn't know. And I'll see you guys in another one. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Goodbye.